The new Modus Super Series champion. Yes!
What a finish!
The silencer, Jeff Smith! And it is that shot wins week 6!
Maximum checkout.
He's done it!
Coulson missing this opportunity. This is for the title.
Goes to Scott in the slagger, and he does. Oh, double 12 for a 1-4-4. Game shot.
What a way!
And
The ton plus checkouts is looking at 106. Looking at double top, gets the double top. And that 106 seems to be the trend of the group.
Undertaker-esque.
And he could hoist a man by his own petard by winning this game a ton plus checkout. Double top for Dudbridge. To win it in style.
Bullseye's the target. So 60 now for the ball. He finds it, and that's a great dart. His first start to find the bullseye.
third there.
Group A was fantastic. Group C was fascinating. Over to you, Group B. It's time to get cracking. Very good evening. Welcome along, or welcome back if you were with us this afternoon for the opening session of Group C. A really entertaining afternoon's work, wasn't it? Glenn Durrant, who is still alongside me. Looking forward to Group B tonight. But Group C, as I say, what brilliant afternoon's action.
I thought it was excellent, and not just one standout player. I thought all 6 players delivered. Intriguing, fascinating, big scores, incredible big finishes as well. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, 13 ton plus checkouts in the afternoon, and it's Alex Williams that tops the table overnight. As you see here, he got the better of Tom Cromwell, who was the early pace setter in the early stages of the day, but some real big finishes at clutch moments. The difference between the two in the end.
Yeah, he shows his emotion, didn't he? And we had the joy of having him in the studio as well. You could clearly see he was still buzzing. I don't think he could quite believe it, because he came into it not in the best of forms there. He produced the goods, but he realised it's only half time, still plenty of work to do. But I think Tom Cromwell in second place will have gone away slightly disappointed, but a fantastic afternoon of darts.
Yeah, there you have the Group C table overnight. Williams there on 8 points, Cromwell on 6, along with Tomoyo Goto, who applied himself really well coming off the back of a Group A campaign. And Marcel Otter there at the foot of the table on 2 points. Will be wondering just what he has to do, because that doesn't reflect how well he played.
He's been a breath of fresh air. He started Group A really well. Lost his opening game today, and I did fear for him, but he bounced back. He played some good stuff. It was just the quality was there, and every time he had these opportunities, people were pinging big finishes against him. But I think he's learning on the job.
That will be for tomorrow afternoon, where we will see the 2 players who will join the Group A winner, Jeffrey Deswan, in Saturday night finals night. But we turn our focus now to Group B. The opening session sees Jamie Hughes, your good pal Glenn, along with Mark Dudbridge and Mike Gillett, join Scott Robertson, who's been really impressive on debut here at the Super Series this week, and Derek Coulson, who has posted some serious numbers on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, he's a proper player. He really is, and he knows how to win on that stage. He has a fantastic record of qualifying. He just had a bit of a nightmare start on Monday, but he's gone on a 9-match winning spree with finishes like this. Incredible score, an average over 111 in one game, multiple averages over 100. He's the real deal, Derek Coulson. I had my first real chance to speak to him today. It doesn't surprise me to see those odds.
Yeah, looking at the betting then for Group B, and Derek Coulson 11 to 10 favourite. Now Jamie Hughes was favourite to win the week on Monday morning. He's no longer favourite to win his group now. Such has been the toing and froing and the high quality action. 6 to 4 his price. Got Robertson in there at 7 to 1, and pick the bones out of that, Glenn.
Yeah, it's clearly they've seen exactly what we've seen. They've looked at the numbers. They realise that Derek's in great form. He knows, as we mentioned, he knows what to do here. No surprise, he's gone favourite there. It almost like it's a bit of a two-horse race there. I think there'll be plenty of twists and turns, as we like.
Let's get cracking then. Scott Robertson kicks off the show this evening against Jamie Hughes. And earlier on this evening, I didn't catch up with Yozza. Glenn Durrant did.
Jamie, first of all, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Group B, excited?
Yeah, obviously I've been in Group B before, so I know exactly what to expect, how to approach it. So hopefully the experience from last time will stand me in good stead this time.
I think I know your game inside out. I mean, we go back a long way, but on the back of that ADC Tour finals where I thought you were terrific, just losing out to Kurt Parry and then a fantastic Challenge Tour weekend. Is this the one time you're coming to your banging form?
I don't know. It's one of them. You never know what may turns up, because I had a good Saturday and then a abysmal Sunday. So hopefully the Saturday may turns up.
It's a really tough week this week. Are you the type of player to have a look what's going on and some of the really good stuff that's happening in Group A and Group C so far?
No, to be honest, just get up there. I hope it's a nice standard, because I'm hoping that'll bring out my A game then, and that's better for me.
And the plans for the future, are you thinking Q School? I mean, are you excited about what's happening with the ADC, the Modus Super Series? What's your plans going forward?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I've learnt a lot this year about what I think I need to do to get my game back to where I want it to be. And obviously, definitely Q School. I'll have to have a look at the ADCs and things like that, because I think they've changed. I've not really looked up on what's going to change next year, so we'll have to see what happens with that one.
First game up, England versus Scotland. I know what that means to you, putting the national shirt on. But Scott Robertson, know much about him?
Obviously, I know he's one of the top Scottish internationals, and he has been for a long time. So he's now a mug, so I'm expecting an high-quality game.
Well, I'm a pundit today, so no bias, but come on, Yozza.
Thank you, mate.
No bias, come on, Yozza. Conflicting statements if ever I hear them. Other than that, beautifully done, Glenn Durrant.
Yeah, Jamie's, it's almost like a 10, 15 years of sort of being together, travelled the BDO circuit as it was alongside Jamie Hughes, and definite friends for life. We shared the England shirt, played pairs together, but it's all about him tonight. When he'll have seen himself favourite on Monday morning, and this tough group was an indication of how well he's playing at the moment. He's got the pedigree. As he mentioned there, though, just every time I tried to give him a positive in that interview, he sort of backed it up with a little bit of a negative there. I think he just needs to believe in himself. It's a tough opener against the very impressive Robertson. I thought he was terrific in Group A. And England, Scotland always whets the appetite.
It certainly does. Paul Hinks calling the scores.
First leg, Jamie to throw first.
Refereeing.
Game on.
With an iron fist and a velvet glove, as always. Yozza gets us underway in Group B. He's been in great nick of late. Reaching a final on the Challenge Tour last weekend. The question for Scott Robertson is, can he sustain that form he displayed when he finished third in Group A? As he himself eyes a place in finals night on Saturday.
Yeah, it's sort of difficult to see how Scott's doing. He's predominantly sort of county darts. He's very proud wearing the Scottish shirt in the British Internationals, the WDF, Europe Cup, etc. He's here on merit. Demonstrated his real qualities there. He'll fancy his chances tonight. If you can get through, if you can't win Group A, then if you can get to Group B, that 3 from 5 tonight, playing at this time of night as well. So I'm expecting big things from Scott. But as we saw today, if he can get off to that good start, that classic word of momentum can really kick in, because that'll be the aim for Jamie Hughes. He's playing 2 of the first 3 games. He can be sat pretty very, very early in this Group 55. B, so all to play for.
Scott Robertson, a glowing reference of him from Scott Campbell.
100.
Former weekly winner here. Earning his place at the Super Series through the ADC.
77. Jamie
That's the
Carr,
big one off the floor
122.
in this opening leg. Jamie Hughes. First dibs. At a finish.
Yeah, sensible playing the 1-2-2 when your opponent's on 213, effectively
65.
saying to himself, I can do this 1-2-2 in 6 darts. He's left himself a 2-darter. Good start from Jamie.
$57. Jamie Carr, 57.
Canyoza rounded off. Eyeing tops. And now tens. There it
Game
is.
on the first leg, Jamie Hughes.
A serene, comfortable
Second leg, Scott.
hold
to
of
third
throw
first. Game on.
to start off his Group B campaign. And the impetus now firmly at the door of Scott Robertson.
Yeah, one of the most difficult competitions I ever played in is
140.
putting on your national shirt and playing in the Europe Cup singles. And in the prelim in 2024, Scott Robertson played one of the Modus Super Series commentators, England captain Scott Mitchell. Scott Robertson winning that game. Went on to the last 16 as well, where he can count himself really unlucky, losing to Adrian Devine of Northern Ireland in the last leg decider.
140.
The way you were teeing that up then, I thought he played Henry Deacon. Henry did win a game at an ADC last night. Stop the presses.
97.
Yes, Dobbin the donkey is on his way home
81.
now with his tail between his legs.
$60. Scott Carr, 140.
Robertson. Let's fight back well here. 140 remaining after just 9. That looks inviting. It had to, didn't it? 2 tens.
120.
He'll be back. Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, it's very encouraging actually. He looks good. He looks settled. He looks like he fancies the job. Excellent
138.
riposte from
Scott
Jamie
Carr,
Hughes.
20.
But I think deservedly, this for parity early in this game.
Over adjusted now. With
15.
double 5 and
Jamie Carr,
that was
72.
slack. The way Jamie Hughes has been playing of late, you feel that this may well go.
52. Scott Carr, 5.
They're so important, those types of finishes. Got to be careful with the big number for double 2. Just all a little bit wild.
Game
But
show on
gets
the
there
second
in the
leg,
end.
Scott
Deservedly
Robertson.
so. He looked really solid throughout that leg and nearly fluffed his lines in the
Third
end.
leg,
But
Jamie
after
to
2
third
legs,
first. Game on.
I think that's the correct score in the end. Another one of our commentators, Sam Paul Nicholson, I think when he was asked his favourite throw in the world of darts, I
131.
think Jamie Hughes is right up there in his upper quartile of players.
Yeah, can't disagree.
26.
So you know now what to look for. Effortless. And like I said, it's the kind of throw where if you're showing a beginner, if you're
123.
showing someone who's bang into the darts now, and this isn't too bad. It's just the only problem with this one is that backswing just feels a little rushed. That was beautiful.
96.
But he scored, I think his opening score in this one was 26, and it just looked a little nervy. Whereas we did a little bit of analysis earlier on Raymond Smith's run. Jamie's very similar. Just gets that set up. It's just then the flick of the wrist.
134.
Yeah, picture perfect stuff. Hughes himself now down to a finish after 9. Back on
90.
his own
Jim McCall,
throw.
113.
That's not a disaster. Robertson not
57.
really troubling the Hughes throw at the moment.
I think one thing I've learnt about it is every time I've looked up to our giant statistic board that we have,
99. Jim McCall,
players
56.
on throw have been averaging heavily. Jamie Hughes is averaging 95 at the moment. This for a 2-on lead.
Inch
Stay on
on the
throw.
third leg, Jamie Hughes.
Very, very effective.
Fourth leg, Scott to throw first. Game on.
Whilst Robertson was strong on his own throw previously, is yet to fire on the Yoza
85.
throw so far. Such as the short format. That will need to change and change quickly if he is going to trouble Jamie
81.
in this match.
Yeah, Scott was superb on Monday. Had an average for the day of
140.
over 93. It dipped on Tuesday to an average just shy of 90, very acceptable. But his worst day was yesterday. So he's progressively, number-wise, got worse, Scott Robertson. And right now he's just averaging
100.
round about early 80s. So you'll want to pick up to where he was.
Would you put that down perhaps to the format, I suppose,
60.
is here on debut, new experience, can be a daunting proposition first time around, or you get that sort of gush of adrenaline on the opening day, starts to
97.
wear off, and it can become a bit of a grind, I suppose.
And it's usually the latter, because I go back to that conversation I talked about earlier with Marvin Van Velzen, almost like you've got to come here once to really get used to the surroundings,
100.
get used to the venue, get used to what time you're going to get there, how to prepare. Because it can be a bit of a war of attrition when you're playing here, certainly all week. So sometimes you'll be learning on the job, but like I say, settled so well
99.
Monday.
Scott McCall,
I'm not
116.
seeing someone who's been overawed here, and he's got a very good chance to be levelling up here after 4 legs.
$100. Jim McCall, 124.
Robertson finds a treble, but now needs to hope that Hughes misses. His prayers have been answered.
Well, his interview
8.
talked about this lack of
Scott McCall,
consistency at the
16.
moment. And so far, this match is very typical of that, because on throw he's looked great. Against the throw he's been pretty average,
on the
and no
fourth
problem
leg, Scott
whatsoever for
Robertson.
Scott Robertson. And after 4 legs, we are level.
Fifth leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
And I think, Sam, one of the reasons why he's settled is when you put that Scotland shirt on, when you're playing at British internationals, when you go and represent your country in the Europe Cup. It's tough.
93.
It really is when you wear that. And I'm sure he's using all those experiences of county darts, local league stuff, the ADC stuff that he's doing. And that transition then onto that stage, he looks made for it up there. I like the look of him.
30. $100.
Both players strong on their own throws, which will be fine for Jamie, who would have the throw in a deciding leg should that
85.
scenario arise.
Yeah, it's usually about now when I have a Scotland player that Elaine Cairns normally contacts me and gives me information about the player as well. So I keep refreshing my phone, Elaine, if you're watching.
39. $125.
For the first time in this match, Scott Robertson is now a applying pressure to the Hughes throw.
99.
Jamie, though, leaves a finish, the biggest of them all. Robertson now looking to match,
100.
which he
Jamie
does.
Carr 170.
Sort of 161 this afternoon, the highest finish of the week. The big fish is on. Can he reel it in?
145. Scott Carr 161.
Just off the line. Couldn't reel it in time. Can Robertson make Yozza pay? That was wild.
97.
He's going to have to break the throw, Jamie Hughes, if he's going to win this game. Does Scott? Is it Mr. Consistency on throw? This is a big dart in this match.
Game show on the 5th leg, Jamie Hughes.
He was up to the task. For the first time on throw, Robertson was there waiting to potentially pounce. Jamie Hughes, one leg away.
Yes, I went to Glen Rothas in
57.
April 2016, representing England alongside Jamie Hughes. And it was Scotland against Wales. And Scott Robertson, I think making his debut, if memory serves me right, then drew out the legend of all legend of Welsh darting, Martin
85.
Phillips. And just looking down, I thought for a second there that it was me that played Scott Robertson. But the good news was, I beat someone called Steve Robertson. Do you know why it's good? Because Steve Robertson is a Sunderland
93.
fan.
Oh,
That felt good.
I bet it did.
Jamie Hughes played the game before. He beat Steve Mitchell.
99.
But what an atmosphere. It was a fantastic moment. The noise, it was a proper workman's club. And then the Scottish anthem and the Welsh anthem come on. Wow.
28.
That's when England was proper darts, not when Jared Cole played for England.
Shots fired. Darts fired.
180.
Really has made his move, hasn't he? All goes back to that 5th leg,
134.
that double
Jamie
eight last
Carr,
dart in hand.
137.
Time on his side. Doesn't need to go the treble 19 tops. Once again, almost playing it safe, but that's not what he wanted. This can get a little bit messy. A treble needed.
49.
Hughes still with work to do then when he returns. Robertson.
$83. Jamie Carr 88.
So is this the moment for Yozza? Well, the marker would have been tempting, but gets the treble 18 for a match shot at double 7, which is fired in. And that's relatively comfortable in the end for Jamie Hughes, who is underway, maintaining that good form he displayed at the weekend on the Challenge Tour. And it's a 90 average, 50% on the doubles as well. A marker has been laid down by Yozza. Can Mark Dudbridge and Derek Coulson follow? We'll find out after the break.
He will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have
Graham
one dart.
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit!
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Dart at tops for the match to win 4-1. And the Dart at double 16 gets the job done there for Jurgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2-6.
Did he go for tops or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up. to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Gablas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He is 2 darts away
requires 86
from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone, and you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs 1 more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the 1 treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4 for the match.
Game. Shot. And the Modus Super Series 11 champion, Jeff Smith.
And welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where the bookies had the Group B as a bit of a 2-horse race between Jamie Hughes and Derek Coulson. Well, it's job done so far for Jamie Hughes in his opening game. Went with throw, then he had a real big dart at double 8 to lead that match 3-2 for seeing out the game 4-2. But I'm really excited to see the next game. I don't particularly like seeing Mark Dudbridge, however, because he... right at the back end of my career, decided to beat me up every time at the World Seniors. Terrific CV, he's got a wonderful player. But Derek Coulson, for me, yes, he's 57-year-old, but he's getting better every time I've seen him. I watched him on Monday closely, and I was surprised because I had him to win the week. This week, we said how difficult it is to try and pick a winner. But then he went on a march, Sam, and just some of the numbers he was producing, and he looked really confident when he popped in here for us this morning with a chat with you. I think he goes into this one against Mark as a big favourite.
He didn't do much wrong on Monday either. On another day, he could have ended that day with 4 wins and no one would have really bat an eyelid. But such was the form displayed by the likes of Goto and Deswan, and Marcelato had his moments on Monday. He's got Robertson, had a good time of things. But Derek just kicked on, was absolutely relentless.
180.
And I think that means he's in the mood tonight as well.
It's almost like we built him up really well there. More of this, please. And I think last time Mark Dudbridge was here, he wasn't sure where his game's at. He's not as match sharp as he would like to be. He's a good practicer when he knows he's got something coming up. So I'm sure he'll come here nice and prepared. But the fact he's not getting as much match practice, that may concern him. But early indications for Mark Dudbridge, Flash, looks like he's banging form.
140.
One of the best CVs in the game as well. That's Mark Dudbridge. Played in the inaugural Premier League back in 2005. Former Winmar World Master. A match play runner-up. World
43.
Championship runner-up.
Mark the car 121.
Who did he beat in the World Masters final 2002?
I've got it written down here. Tony West, 7-4.
Bullseye.
96.
Excellent opening leg there from both players. It was a 180 start from Coulson, but he's second best here. He was talking about that 9-dart attempt with the 144, wasn't he?
58. Mark the car 25.
Dudbridge then to tidy things up. Was unlucky with double 8.
21.
Wasn't so with a double
86.
4, and he's allowed Derek Coulson in here. And these are the finishes that were going in Group A.
Being shown the first leg.
And they've gone in Group B as well.
15
Second leg,
darts.
Derek to through first. Game on.
He just makes it look effortless. You know, we talked an awful lot about rhythm of a player. I mean, he's not slow, but he will dictate the pace in a lot of the games. And, you know, sometimes a player, when they're fairly methodical, it's not that
100.
noticeable, because what you notice is how good the dart. I mean, one of the slowest players ever has to be Phil Taylor. But it's not a word that you'd associate with him because he was just so good.
One of them 40.
I sense you're disappointed that I knew that it was Tony West that Dudbridge beat in the World Masters final
44.
back in the day.
Incredibly. You know, when you remember certain games, I just remember the Tony West game against
100.
Raymond van Barneveld. Of course, it was on BBC at the time, wasn't it? And I just remember this Mark Dudbridge coming up, just playing some wonderful stuff. And I also, probably the most incredible leg I've seen with Mark Dudbridge, you might have to help me out here, where it was the double start. Went right down to the wire. He took about 21 darts to get off. Ended up winning the leg. Help me out. Who was that against? It'll come to me. Was it
40.
Well, meanwhile, Eric Coulson continuing on this relentless charge.
99.
Yeah, Dudbridge hasn't done an awful lot wrong in this match. Just those missed darts at a double. And when we talk about match sharpness, the scoring never really goes in a sense that it's a target
60.
area that if you can get some practice in,
78.
when you're not match sharp, it's when you have those combination finishes, those doubles under pressure. And when you're confident like Derek is, these types of finishes are just meat and drink. It's double 6. Am I talking it in?
66. Mark the car
talked it out.
161.
Dudbridge. Can't take an opportunity presented to him, and Derek
27.
will be back
Derek car 12.
to tidy up and to double his advantage. Bottom of the board.
6. Mark the
Doesn't
car
go.
134.
A vent of frustration from Coulson.
Yeah, a little bit quick, that last dart there. But he hasn't been punished. Nothing Mark can do. He can leave it pretty.
90.
And he'll take
Derek
that.
car 6.
Because this decision to be made is a 2-2-2, or is he going to go direct? That's a decision. Almost like you can change your mind. And part of me thinks he was going for double 3. Changed his mind last
Shown the
second.
second leg,
Good
Derek
decision,
Coulson.
Derek.
Very
Third
good
leg march
decision.
through first. Game on.
Eventually dispatches the leg. And as we had your pal Jamie Hughes in the first match, it's no
99.
secret that Derek Coulson is a pal of mine.
Same local league team?
For many years. And I'd never tell him to his face as he fires in yet another maximum. But I do sort of admire Derek, because we often wax lyrical about the youth coming into the game. But
100.
I first met Derek in 2012 at a Super League match, and he was sort of no frills, went under the radar, steady enough league player, averaged sort of 19, 20, 21. And then you see this.
140.
Because he fell in love with the game, got the bug, put hours and hours in on the practice board, got the call up to County B.
60.
Kicked on again to County A. Had a go at getting his tour card, went on the Challenge Tour, got to a Challenge Tour final where he ran into an inspired Cameron Menzies on the day. Kept on working, kept on going. Made a name for himself at the seniors.
140.
And here he is back at the Live Lounge looking for a 5th consecutive Champions Week appearance.
More than any other. He's been the height of consistency at that
38.
stage.
Daniel Carr, 41.
And he is putting those afterburners on all of a sudden. Potential 11 darter. Double 16. It's in the eye line. It's in the double 16. Sublime.
Full flag Derek to throw first. Game on.
And the thing about it, for me, Glenn, is in this sort of sport, you get out what you put in. And Derek has put so much into it over the years. Again, I'd never tell him this to his face.
100.
But he's reaping the rewards and turning heads.
Yeah, it does feel like a young player's game these days. I won't lie, and that's why the Derek Coulson story is a good one. And, you know, that one sentence is still resonating with me from early, is that he's going to do some travelling next year. Now, whether that is via Q School, because that would be a story in itself if he becomes a professional player, whether that's Lakeside, WDF. But look, he's demonstrating the scoring power. He's good under pressure. He's averaging some incredible numbers. And a good sign is that me and you both looked up to the average at the same point there. It doesn't look like his brilliant best. Yes, he's just pinged in an 11 darter. He's averaging just shy of 103 at the moment.
With 4 maximums to boot.
140.
Just so composed and ice cool.
4 180s. That man in your picture, Mark Dudbridge, still got
91.
the record here. An individual match of
81.
7 180s in one game on that stage. It was 11 darter in the previous leg for Derek Coulson. He's not going to match it this time. Sensible play for double 16. That is outstanding. Derek Coulson really did put the afterburners on. His last 2 legs of 11 and 12 darts. And Mark Dudbridge, who started the game, there was some real positives there for Mark Dudbridge. He'll fight and come back and fight for another day, that's for sure. But Derek Coulson was favourite for this Group B campaign. Eyebrows are raised. I think looking at them numbers, the bookies have got it right again. 4-0 to Derek. He goes on to 2 points. We see Mike Gillett for the first time this week. He's up next against Jamie Hughes.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score, leaves himself on a 2 darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side.
60.
become back-to-back singles champion.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage, approaching the hockey with a chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone to bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Gay wasn't even able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie,
Threw the entire body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
The match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series here on Pluto TV. You are in the right place. Make no bones about it. Jamie Hughes kicked off our show this evening with a 90 average with a 4-2 win over Scott Robertson. That was followed in by Derek Coulson with 103.66 in a 4-0 whitewash over former World Championship finalist Mark Dudbridge. How will Hughes respond now against Mike Gillett, the 41-year-old southpaw from Wales? Yozza from Tipton. West Mids through and through, as you can see on his flights there. But if Yozza put down a marker in the opening match, that was trumped by Coulson in the second match. How will Hughes now respond? It almost feels as though those two, despite still being in the infancy of Group B, but we could be on a collision course.
First leg, Mike, to through first. Game on.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think we mentioned the timetable this afternoon for Tom Cromwell. He would play a game and then go missing for a while. I think for Jamie Hughes tonight, it's almost perfect. You know, if you can just get those first 2 games
85
in and out, beyond 4 points, then you're in a terrific position. But you can't write off Mike Gillett. Listen, we have specials weeks here, Sam. And if we ever had a specials week of the nicest dart players in the world of darts, then I think the first name on the team sheet would be that man, Mike Gillett there. He is just a genuinely nice fella. He really is. He's always had the strange dart. When I was here, it's a very old tungsten that he had. So first of all, it's good to see that it looks like he's upgraded the tungsten there. But he's persevering with that old Taylor trick. It looks like he's cutting his flights up to almost 98. Submarine level there. I've never been the fan of, especially because it looks like a really weighty dart. And they, for me, are not flying how I would want to see a dart
55
fly. Bad boys.
Understacking. Such is the technology these days. All the manufacturers now, whether it be
40
K-Flex or individual stems and flights or whatever, you would think we were past the days of cutting your own flights, and
23.
Gillett must like to keep it old school.
Yeah, you will often see that the filter. Wow, that's one of my darts. Before you say it, Sam. I mean, he answered that in his own interview, didn't he? Where he said, that just which version of me's are we going to see tonight, Jamie? And it's almost like
44.
Feast or famine at the moment, isn't it? At times he's looked great in that opening game. At times he's looked distinctly average.
42.
Mentioned in the previous match as well about Mark Dudbridge's glittering CV. Jamie Hughes, his ain't too shabby either, particularly on the old BDO front. 2 times
40.
a Lakeside semi-finalist back in 2016 and 17. 2016 losing out to Scott Waits. Can't remember about 2017.
140.
Yeah, whatever happened to him. But then went and celebrated in the Frimley Green CRU club. That's the type of guy. Listen, if he'd have beat me, I'd have been sulking in bed. That's the type of guy. This is the feast side of Jamie Hughes. A little shake of the head there. This is a pretty ropey start from the pair of them.
It was always going to be awkward 100. With the way Mike's darts stick in the board. And Yoza could potentially steal. Couldn't resist the marker. 2 10s and a steal it is.
Second leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, I was just looking at Mike Gillett there, and I just thought, I'll see how he's doing in the development tour. Then I realised he's 41-year-old now. You're looking good, Mike.
85.
Well, I know there's been plenty of question marks of late about the age cut-off of what it should be on the Dev Tour and the
100.
World Youth. Unfortunately, I think Gilly just has surpassed that bracket somehow.
121.
Yeah, it's got to hurt that first leg. You wire 2 darts at tops and then see your opponent check out with the last dart.
100.
Now it's about that resilience, that fight. Something that you'd associate with Jamie Hughes. He's gritty. He's determined. Just beginning to find his range right now.
100. 81.
See there the angle, the varying angles, the way Gilly's darts stick in the board. There's no real consistency to it in the way they lie.
Well, you used the term understacking, and I was going to say to you, well, I can't see. I'm seeing them very flat. If there's one dart that I don't like, I don't mind understacking, and I don't mind somebody with that more traditional one. One thing I don't often like to see is flat,
95.
but there's a reason why he has the setup like he has, but not for me.
$56. Mike Ricard, 125.
So Mike needs a bit of a special checkout. Oh, it's not quite there. So he's
60.
He was eyeing
Jamie
treble
Ricard,
13.
40.
Jamie now for tops for 2-0. Tens would do it.
Game show on the second
Tens
leg,
does it.
Jamios.
Yeah, it's a double you'd associate with Jamie as well. No
Third leg,
reaction.
Mike to throw first. Game on.
But averaging 79 and leading 2-0. I guess it's just, as you mentioned, if you can get those 4 points after your first 2 games, it's almost like
59.
you can smell qualification, because his next game, Jamie Hughes, would be in a good 45 minutes time, and that would be against Mark Dudbridge, a game beforehand he would have fancied his chances, but I thought there was enough in that game, despite the
82.
fact he lost 4-0, that Dudbridge will be feeling okay. I think he'll be back on the practice board now, maybe just practicing his doubles.
99.
We were talking earlier, Glenn, about the Zyderdown Masters before we came on air, and how much of a sort of proper tournament that is to win. Back in the days of the
100.
BDO, and Jamie Hughes won it back in 2014, beating Gary Robertson 5-0 with a 96 average that day.
100.
To have a tournament like that on your CV just demonstrates that's what a high-quality operator Yozza is.
I have a very funny story about that one as well with Jamie, because we mentioned
100.
chatting earlier about Conan Whitehead does hardly practices. He was playing Dean Reynolds, and there was like the worrying signs that Jamie still wasn't down in
59.
the practice area. I literally had to go and wake him up and say, look, you're on. He went, look, I don't need practice starts. I'll get enough practice because it's best of 11 sets. He went downstairs, had 3 darts at the board to go for the bullseye. Dean
95.
Reynolds had been on it for hours. Jamie Hughes pings the bull and then went back upstairs. But it was a great competition. It was in the hotel. You were well looked after. And I know he was very proud to win that one.
96. Jim Niccar 124.
Well, this would go a long way to sealing another win. 1, 2, 4. Jamie
on the third leg, Jamie
Hughes. That's how you fire back
Fourth leg,
from
Jamie
Derek Coulson's earlier
Game on.
riposte. And the more this Group B develops, the more you feel like it's going to be Market Drayton versus Tipton to see who wins Group B.
100.
Yeah, I was just showing Sam a website that has all the statistics about the players, and Mike Gillet's similar to Scott Robertson. A lot of his information is when he's been
140.
representing his country as well. But I just can't see that name with the highest ever average against him. That top game there representing England versus Wales. My eyes have gone a little bit.
43.
Glenn. Oh, yes, I remember now.
Durant. Gary Durant. Oh, Glenn Durant.
137.
Yeah, he did all right for himself.
You've got to go back to 2022 for the highest recorded average for Mike Gillett. That was in Q School. Yeah, sort of dabbled with a little
96.
bit of WDF, British Open, Denmark. And of course, has been played at Lakeside as well. Won his prelim
44.
game against Kai Smith of Australia.
$92.
Chance for Gilly here to really get in this match and avoid a
45.
opening whitewash
Jim Niccar,
defeat, but
170.
visits like that, the writing could well be on the wall. Jamie will hope and feel like he's got 6 from here. That was close. That was really close. Undeterred though.
94.
Yeah, he'll take that though.
135.
135 is a bit of a stinker of a finish, but that's not laying too bad if he could have got the treble 20. It was a
70.
routine win in game 2 for Derek
76.
Coulson. They labelled it a bit of a 2-horse race, this Group B. And Jamie Hughes is a dart away from the same scoreline. Anything you can do, Derek Coulson, I can match. Another fantastic win for Jamie Hughes. He has played 2 of the first 3 games and sits pretty at the top on 4 points against the very likeable Mike Gillett. He will come back. He'll need to find just a little bit more in his game, but it's job well done for Jamie Hughes. He can go and settle down before his next game. We move on to game 4. It's Scott Robertson against Mark Dudbridge.
He will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have one dart for the match.
20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Darter tops for the match to win 4-1. And the Darter double 16 gets the job done there for Jurgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2-6.
Did he go for tops, or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Gablas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He's 2 darts away from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone. And you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs one more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the one treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4 for the match.
Game. Go. And the Modus Super Series 11 champion, Jeff Smith.
Of ADC Global Champion, the African warrior, Devon Peterson!
The ADC Global Championship is right around the corner, and on Saturday night at 7 o'clock you can watch the draw live here on Pluto TV. Watch along from 7 p.m. just before finals night gets underway. The draw for the ADC Global Championship. So despite it still being in its infancy, Group B already starting to take shape, and we were waxing lyrical before the break about Jamie Hughes and Derek Coulson, but let's not forget 3 qualify for finals night from this group. So this game will go a long way to decide just who could potentially qualify alongside maybe Hughes and Coulson. Still a long way to go. Scott Robertson
First leg,
and
Scott
Mark
to
Dudbridge
throw
certainly
first.
sort of had their moments in their opening matches, but had nothing to show for
Game
them.
on.
But one of them will now.
$140.
Yeah, it was good analysis, really, of the pair of them. I thought the scoring looked pretty effective for the both of them. It was just sort of the back end of the legs. But I guess if I was in the camp of Scott Robertson or Mark Dudbridge, these are the games that sort of be identifying as sort of must-wins. I think it'd be a real bonus if you get over the line against Derek Coulson or Jamie Hughes.
100.
We could be looking back this time tomorrow saying the third qualifier is the player that did well between the fact of these two and Mike Gillett.
We can't afford to get carried away.
100.
Isn't it typical of the Modus Super Series? Next up is Derek Coulson versus Mike Gillett, where we've pretty much given Derek Coulson the win already, and it does come back and bite you on the backside.
105.
It absolutely does. There's no gimmies in the live lounge. You have to earn every single bit.
We had a conversation this week, Sam, haven't we, about...
Car 156.
Scott looks at this 156. We'll see this first out. We've talked about the dynamics of the players' lounge and the fact that Tomoya Goto will have struggled to engage. The fact
100.
that we've seen 3 Dutch players in the group there. I have a sense when Mark Dudbridge is about, Jamie Hughes, Derek Coulson, Scott Robertson, I think that they'll be having good fun there during the game, in between the games.
99. Scott the car 56.
Yes, I would agree with that. Very much so. And like Group C had the potential to get a little bit lively as well.
20.
As a leg dart goes a-begging for Robertson. He'll be back again, though. With trap 2. Up there. Like his opponent's nickname, like a flash.
44.
Yeah, that's 5 legs played for Mark so far. Still looking to get his first double. Just sort of prey on your mind. But like I said, that has been very satisfactory.
100.
He's got the dart in this leg. And a ton ahead.
$59. $60.
We mentioned before about Mark Dudbridge win in the World Masters back in 2002. I was looking as
94.
well about his run in the World Match Play back in 2004, where he got to the final, losing to Phil Taylor, obviously.
140.
How's this for a run of results? Beating Wayne Mardle 10-5, Alan Warren a little 15-13, Peter Manley 16-9, and Ronnie Baxter 17-13. There's a list for you.
80. Mark the car 142.
That's sort of half a snarl there from Dudbridge with that opening dart in the visit. Doesn't have time to play with himself in this one.
120. $44. Mark the car 22.
He could split. It can get awkward here with the double 11.
On the second leg, Mark Dudbridge.
What am I talking about? But yeah, absolutely spot on there. I'm just sort of going through his
Third leg, Scott to through first.
that excellent CV that he's got. And, you know, and the name Phil Taylor comes up so many times. Plays championship finals, you know, losses against Merv King, Terry Jenkins, And of course, Phil Taylor,
100.
PDC World Final 2005. Phil Taylor, Mark Dudbridge, 7-4 to Phil Taylor on that one. Like many players of that era, if it wasn't for Phil Taylor, we could be talking about the fact that Mark Dudbridge is a world champion and a world master.
$81.
Yes, that Philip Douglas Taylor. Oh, wow.
40.
Not only a bounce out, but it's knocked out the flight as well.
$100.
They're still readjusting his equipment after that previous visit there, Dudbridge.
Now, one thing is very noticeable tonight. It was something that we were chatting off air, the fact that
85.
we talked about the rhythm, the pace of the games this afternoon were excellent. I think, the players suited each other. And just looking at the place tonight, we said it's going to be a more sedate pace. So the quality is going to be there. But you just sense right now it's played at a pace
80.
sort of akin to what we were thinking.
Yeah, suits all the players, doesn't it? Well within their comfort zones. I mean, you wouldn't say it was exceptionally
68.
slow.
Shot
It's
the
just
car 140.
sort of methodical, I suppose.
One for the purists. I was hardly lightning myself, so who am I to talk?
100.
Well, this could go the distance, this one. Difficult to separate the pair of them so far. And once again, going with throw. Robertson after 15 darts to leave tops.
57.
Destiny in his hand to
Shot
take
the
back the
car
lead.
40.
Good guide. And the marker
He's
did
on
its
the
job.
third leg, Scott Robertson.
Robertson has the advantage once more.
Fourth leg mark to through
it's on
first.
throw, and
Game
it's
on.
Scott's turn now for a bit of running repair.
Well, when I was drawing Mark Dudbridge in the seniors, he would
100.
often go abroad to prepare himself for the World Seniors before it was played at the Circus Tavern. I'm just looking at Scott Robertson. He's looking really tanned there, isn't he? He's
80.
looking really well.
Must be sunny up in Scotland.
$60.
I mean, I doubt it, but you never know.
$81.
Well, just a few weeks ago, we had Johnny Haynes here, who just came back off holiday straight into Group C. Almost won the week, ran into Jensen Walker in the final, but beat the likes of Charlie Manby on
43.
finals night. Bit of sunshine does you the world of good.
I think Martin Adams, Wolfie, was another one before Lakeside would spend time. I'm sure it was somewhere fancy like the Maldives.
45.
May, did you say? Yeah, I used to go to Primrose Valley to prepare myself. That's Filey and Scarborough, if anyone. For you Southerners.
94.
Sure, it's lovely this time of year.
$100.
I'm not saying it's rough, Primrose Valley, but when I was driving out, someone nicked me hubcaps. I was doing 60 mile an hour at the time.
82.
6 darts and 195. Many players would have started on the 19s there just to take the 95. Good decision not to. 75, treble 17 should be the shot.
137.
Excellent.
Mark
Is this
Ricard,
the moment he's
122.
making the move? So many players have attempted this 1-2-2 today. Needs the treble 18 if he's going to hit it.
Yeah, it's not in, Mark, unfortunately. Should, probably will stay there, just contemplating. Did
54.
stay there, so unlucky.
Scott Ricard, 58.
At least one of them deserved to land in the treble, but this could be the moment, a key moment for Scott Robertson.
38.
Can't take
Mark
the
Ricard,
opportunity.
68.
Just a little bit fidgety, wasn't he? He moved across the hockey. I never sort of really understand that. Just going to be the one dart for Dudbridge. Double 16. Absolute quality.
And that will sting for
This
Scott
leg started
Robertson.
through first. Game on.
He would have thought that was his moment, but 100% on the outer ring for Mark Dudbridge. That is why we are back level.
97.
Yeah, you used the term this afternoon that the match is flip-flopping. Well, that's exactly what it's doing here. Because you felt that Robertson was the better player for the first 4 legs. But Dudbridge,
100.
is he just beginning to turn the screw?
Found his first maximum of the evening. A bit of a swoosh. Regathers.
81.
Robertson is now just in danger a little bit. Another one of those would be handy. Very, very handy.
134. $100. Scott Ricard, 170.
He doesn't want to leave. That treble 18 could be a dart, but does he see
100.
enough of that treble
Mark
20?
Ricard, 140.
Absolutely. There's your answer. Dudbridge been superb on the double so far. 2 from 2 on the outer ring. What an opportunity. And what a finish. A classic moment. A vintage moment. Mark Dudbridge leads 3 legs to 2.
6-leg mark to
Beautiful.
first. Game on.
And Scott Robertson can appreciate what he's just seen. Fantastic display of sportsmanship there. He recognises quality when he sees it. And look at this from Flash.
121.
I like it when those types of players turn up with the Modus. I'm not even sure with that. Mark Dudbridge
100.
knew deep down how poor he was going to play. Now, despite the fact it was a difficult start for him in those early parts of that match against Derek Coulson, he had a couple of opportunities there. 3 missed starts at a double. Never really recovered. But we felt we saw enough in that game where he could just maybe match Scott Robertson on the scoring phase. But it's been on the double so far. 3 from 3 in that 140 finish. Dudbridge 240 points away from victory here.
Straight back in to the business
123.
treble. Didn't have time to dwell on that defeat to Coulson, which has aided him
85.
in this
Mark Ricard,
match.
117.
And he's already had 1 ton plus 8. Can he wrap it up with another? Not this time. Well, Scott Robertson still in the 200s.
57.
Dudbridge will be back.
And even something as simple as an 18 there, you're guaranteeing yourself a 2-dart finish. Robertson, I was about to say way back on 216, but that first dart looked perfect for Mort. I think he'd be disappointed with just the ton.
100.
Especially after
Mark
that
Ricard,
first dart
60.
there. Dudbridge, who's been immaculate so far on the outer ring, he's his opportunity.
Tops then. That's his first dart at double missed in this match.
50. Scott Lucar,
Like London buses, 2 have arrived at once.
And that's that match sharpness I was mentioning, getting those first 2 points on the board. He's begging for it. He can't even look at the board. But he'd be happy when he turns round.
60. Mark Lucar, 10.
Is this the moment then for Mark Dudbridge? Using the marker
Game shown in the
to
match, Mark
perfection. And a little clench of the fist there signifies his opening victory in Group B. Mark Dudbridge is underway. And a little celebration to boot. Well, that's a big win. Scott Robertson was a serious contender coming into this evening, but has been dispatched by Mark Dudbridge. A tremendous display of finishing for Flash as we roll on into the break. Don't go anywhere. It's Coulson Gillett next.
Charlie McGuire, 164. 44. 32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
jockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got in the match. And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife.
And welcome back to the Modus Super Series for this Group B action. And if you were with us just before the break, Mark Dudbridge is up and running. An excellent win over Scott Robertson, the type of game where he'd be identifying Scott and potentially Mike Gillett as big wins for him. Visually happy with that game, but varying fortunes in their opening game for the 2 players on the hockey now. Mike Gillett approaching the hockey. He was a heavy loser to Jamie Hughes, losing that match by 4-0. And I guess, Sam, the last person you want to walk into is Derek Coulson, who was magnificent in Game 2 today against Mark Dudbridge, averaging over 103 in that game. Well, if you put all the stats in a mixing bowl, then you'd have to say Derek Coulson wins this one comfortably. But this is the Modus Super Series, and it doesn't always happen that way.
Things are never that simple. It's
45.
Battle of the Welshmen. Mike Gillett and Derek Coulson. To be fair, one is more significantly Welsh than the other.
100.
Battle of the Southpaws as well.
81.
Gillett on paper, a real tough start to life in Group B. But if he can come out of these games with encouragement, maybe a little win as well, that will give him massive heart for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's the glass half empty
85.
scenario of the situation, because I guess tomorrow it's the polar opposite. He's going to get the two more winnable games according to the bookies, according to the form guide. But if you're searching for points late on tomorrow and you're walking into Derek and Jamie Hughes in your last game, lots of if, buts and maybes. It's almost like we're writing players off, but Derek Coulson just looks like he's in the mood tonight.
23. Derek, your car 100.
Derek then eyeing a ton. There's the treble. There's the marker. And there's the double.
Derek Coulson.
It's simple, really.
Effective and efficient. That was Derek Coulson. My mind sort of just goes back to Monday again. I mean, this could easily be Jeffrey Desvan up on the hockey now, because if it wasn't for 85. That disastrous day, without putting too much aside for Jeffrey, could argue, look, I did my job at 24 points. But the way he's bounced back and the way he's producing the goods tonight, as I mentioned, 103 average in the first one, 15 dart to open it. These are really good moments for Derek Coulson. He's letting the darts do the talking.
I mentioned 57. To you this afternoon, Glenn, that Jeffrey Desvan will have to do something that no one has done in this series so far, win Group A and go on to convert that into a weekly win. Do you know the last person to do so was
135.
Jensen Walker.
Derek Coulson.
100.
Did so in the previous series when he won his week with a similar situation, really. It was Derek and Andreas Harrison battling throughout Group A.
59.
They continued that battle on the Saturday night. Derek coming out on top to win yet another week here.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of weeks where Derek's going to go in as a big favourite. I still think when he looked at the players who were here this week, I'm sure even despite the fact how good Derek is and how sort of self-focused that he is, he must have looked at it and thought, wow, this is hard.
60.
Can't find a treble. And there's just a glimmer of hope here for Gilly. Does need to find
97.
A treble of his own, which he does.
107.
107 apiece. Derek has earned the right for first dibs. Well, that's less than ideal. Not a total disaster. And now can't finish. Over to
83.
You, Mike Gillett.
Mike car 107.
But a beautiful last start there. And all of a sudden this has got to go different target area. You can understand why players go the 107 downstairs, because if you do drift like Mike has gone into 5, by going into the 7 downstairs, you've still got the finish
39.
there. So better ball manager there for Coulson. And that treble 18 has left double 12. And this for a rapid 2-0 lead.
Getting shot on the second leg, Derek Coulson.
And yet again, with Derek Coulson, it looks pretty serene and just sort of standard, really. And yet we glance up to the averages once more, and he's as close to as makes no difference to 97.
And for a dart player, Sam, it's a really good feeling. You know,
60.
We had that chat, didn't we, earlier about Dart Connect, and you see a lot of the professional players just hanging back a second and almost like the eyebrows are raised because you don't think you're playing great. You know, Derek, just before those 3 darts, was averaging 96. It's almost like you're looking up, expect to see, yeah, this feels like a mid-80 average. And that's it's an excellent compliment to Derek, where, like I say, he's just quietly but effectively gets on the job, but he's doing it in good style.
$100.
Better from Gillett. Finding some nice level tons.
I'm sure people watching this in the Mike Gillett family be like, you're talking like he's lost this game already. Well, he did lose that first game 4-0. Coulson looks like he's on a bit of a march here. For me, Mike Gillett's
41.
competition starts with his next match. He's got the 2 big favourites out the way for Mike Gillett. If he doesn't get past Derek Coulson here, those matches against Scott Robertson and Mark Dudbridge are going to be huge. This is beautiful to see. The 180 backed with a 171. Proper darts.
Incredible. I'm just going to make the point as well about Mike Gillett that he's no stranger to a finals night by any stretch.
32.
This is relentless from
Getting shot on the third
DC.
leg, Derek Coulson.
It's a 13 dart hold of throw.
4th leg,
for
Mike.
3-0.
First. Game on.
And considering he didn't find a treble with his first 6 darts there, like I said, no emotion. We saw the Group C leader
59.
Alex Williams showing every bit of emotion today, and almost like that extra energy in the body. It's sapping out of you because you're using that nervous energy. With Derek, it's just, I'm just playing down the pub with my mate Sam and leading 3-0.
Sounds about right.
180.
There it is, Gillett. Mike's turn to find his first maximum of the evening.
95.
You might see him go to the 18s with his second dart. With a treble 20, and after the bang with a 180 in the previous dart.
140.
This is what we've been waiting for, Mike.
$99. Mike Ricard, 122.
He's earned the right here to have a bit of time for the first time.
22.
Nightmare. It does nothing give much away. We said at the beginning of the competition, one of the real nice guys, always plays with a smile on his face, but etched with frustration.
60. Mike Ricard, 100.
But not punished.
Well, Coulson took this out earlier.
60. Danny Ricard, 150.
Can't find the double at the top of the board to win his first leg of the night. This would be an absolute hammer blow, but Gillett will return.
Yes, you're not going to see the sure bolting of the 3 bullseyes from Derek Coulson.
40.
For his first leg of the day. Excellent scoring. This time he finally finds a double. Can that get Mike.
Fifth leg, Derek to throw first. Game on.
Finding the type of darts we know he can do. He's had success on that stage. He's a Welsh international. He's played at Lakeside. He's a top player. Just hasn't produced it so far tonight.
100.
Can something as simple as a 180 get him going?
$140.
He's burst into life now. There's Mike Gillett. I said earlier, he's no stranger to a Saturday here. In the previous series, he made Saturday.
140.
Went out in the group stage that night was stacked. Boris Kirchmeier, Ryan Branley. The night was won by Richard
45.
McKee, of all people. Almost won it with a 9-darter.
Yes, I try to watch as many
60
weekly finals from home. It's usually my bottle of Budweiser in one hand watching the darts. And I do remember that McKee night. He was a new name to me. And then the 9-darter as well. And commentated on him earlier this year as well. Hoping to see him again back on that stage.
Looking now at the 19s.
139.
So Derek will be back for 62 to back up a 4-0 win with a 4-1.
59. Derek Carr, 62.
He looks the real deal, does Derek Coulson. His raise when we saw he was favourite for this Group B, but he's producing the goods. 103 average in game 1.
46.
Very nearly a comfortable 4-1 victory. Let's see the magic, Mike.
Just struggling for a bit of consistency, I think it's fair to say, so far. Gillett has shown real glimpses in this match. But Coulson almost thought about walking, but he can now.
Coulson.
And Derek Coulson, back-to-back victories. And he's up there with Jamie Hughes in the early stages of Group B. Let's have a look at the averages. 95 and change for Coulson, backing up that 103 in the opening match. He means business tonight. That is ominous form for his rivals. Jamie Hughes returns after the break against Flash.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison.
And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Well, it's certainly going with the form table at the moment. Looks like the bookies have been right because Jamie Hughes and Derek Coulson, the pair of them have played a couple of games each and already are on the 4 points. So it's looking good, really good for them. Derek Coulson is opening game average at 103 and looks superb again. And just before the break against Mike Gillett. So far, Group B has been all about Jamie Hughes, and just in the middle of that, a win for Mark Dudbridge as well. So he sits in 3rd place. There's the league table, as we mentioned. Scott Robertson and Mike Gillett work to do. They're still sat there, but you just sense at this moment that the momentum is with Coulson and Hughes. They could run away with things, making it very interesting for that 3rd spot. But Mark Dudbridge can put himself in a much better position here. He'll feel settled now. He's got those 2 points on the board. It has sort of been 45 minutes. Jamie Hughes has shown elements of inconsistencies tonight. And maybe the experience, Sam, of Mark Dudbridge he might fancy the job here.
You can never write him off. You don't get a CV like that without being a real proper player. And Mark Dudbridge could now threaten to spoil the apple cart here for Jamie Hughes. Dudbridge has already faced Coulson. Hughes will know
Jamie to throw first.
what is required of him here.
Game on.
To maintain his positive momentum. Hughes has the honour in this one. And is getting away to an almost perfect start.
Yes, we have sort of mentioned this brilliant CV of Mark Dudbridge. We talked earlier of this World Masters as he looks to back up his heavy scoring that he's doing. But a World Match Player final, Phil Taylor. World Championship final, Phil Taylor.
171.
Sometimes just a reminder, Sam, isn't it, of how good Mark Dudbridge was and still is.
140.
Absolutely. And look, Jamie Hughes himself, 2-time Lakeside semi-finalist, Zyderdown Masters winner, UK Open quarter-finalist.
58.
A winner on the Eurotour. Was here just the other week as well in the ADC Tour Challenge
125,
finals.
Jamie Carr 132.
Lost in the semi-finals on that occasion.
$40. Might occupy 96.
For a breaker throw. You like that marker with
56.
the first dart.
Jamie Carr 92.
Has got the officer starting on the bullseye as Jamie here because that's effectively giving you the chance, but looks like he's going aggressive. Eyes on the prize. Needs a treble now or double-double. Double six.
80. Mark Lucar, 40.
Well, this would make things interesting. Dudbridge, handy guide.
Getting shown the first
And the
leg.
guide
Mark
did its
Dudbridge.
job. And that's a breaker throw.
Second leg marked to through first. Game on.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people watching now saying, I told you so, commentators, because it feels like we were almost giving Jamie Hughes and Derek Coulson a free ride there through. Matt Dudbridge could be sat on the same amount of points as Coulson
26.
and Jamie Hughes in less than 10 minutes' time here. I said he'd fancy his chances against Jamie. Breaker throw in the first one. Flash, looking good.
There is always twists and turns
57.
in these group stages. We've seen players run through the card on one night and still fail to qualify the next night. There is no foregone conclusions here. Every win, every leg is hard earned. There is still plenty to play for.
140.
As Jamie finds another ton 40.
We talked a lot about Tom Cromwell this afternoon. Started beautifully well. 3 wins out of 3.
123.
And left the building pretty disappointed. Jamie Hughes could be 2 wins out of 2. Was talking about qualification because his final game of the night, just as a reminder, is against Derek Coulson. He's going to that
80.
one as second favourite. So this is a massive game for Jamie.
Yeah, Derek has the darts in that one, but when you think,
100.
Glenn, come tomorrow night, it's their first match against one another. And that time Hughes will have the dart, so make sure you stay tuned later on.
100.
That's the
Mark
midnight hour
12.
in the early stage of the session tomorrow night as well. There is still plenty to play for, but Mark Dudbridge
80.
threatening
Jamie
another
Carr,
ton plus checkout.
124.
And now this 1-2-4. He took it out already this evening. He needed to do it again.
Well, he won't now. Dudbridge is looking $1 million at the moment. He thought that
84.
double 16 was in for that
Mark
1-1-2
32.
finish. He's been superb so far.
Getting shown the second leg.
Deservedly
Mark
leads
Dudbridge.
by 2 legs to 0.
Third leg Jamie to through first. Game on.
Great numbers there. We'll try to interview the players, try to get
97.
to see how they're feeling. And I say, when I interviewed Mark Dudbridge last time, he genuinely didn't know. You can throw darts on the practice board, but wasn't throwing enough darts in anger.
80.
Tonight he's been magic after a difficult start.
There's 60 points on the floor there for Flash. Someone had to.
140.
Sure, plenty at home did the same.
$140.
Continues to impress, averaging over 101 now. Did have that dart on the floor as well. Jamie not doing an awful lot wrong because those 2 darts take him over the 100 average mark.
100.
This is a cracking game.
Well, Jamie told
57.
you at the start of
Jamie
the
Carr,
show,
84.
a high standard brings out the best in him. And at 2-0 down, could we now be starting to see the best
52.
of Jamie Hughes to mount a comeback?
Yeah, it's very rarely you see Jamie Hughes lose when he's representing
58.
Warwickshire
Carr, 32.
County. It's almost like that's where you've got to take your mindset as if you're playing county darts. Because that's what he does normally.
Jamie Hughes.
Back in this game now, but still advantage Dudbridge with that early break in the first leg.
Mark through first. Game on.
What I've been impressed with, they're good numbers, they're good darts. But it's been the scoring power tonight.
62.
That's a tough one to take. Chance for Hughes to get into this match.
It's Jamie's turn to see his average soar in
42.
excess of 100, briefly at least. Dudbridge now looking to put his average back above
99.
the magic ton.
$97.
Good last. In this fourth leg, it's all got a bit of nip and tuck.
22.
62, wasn't it, in that first three darts? 22 there. Hughes didn't take advantage last time. That first dart looks awkward. Decides not to go down to the 19s. That's the reason why.
100.
It was a superb dart.
$140.
Great reply. It's a big leg, this. On the Dudbridge throw. Armoured with that early break.
54.
Player of the night so far for me, Mark Dudbridge. That expectation's there for a Derek Coulson. That expectation's there for a Jamie Hughes. Mark Dudbridge. A little bit awkward again. Doesn't want to leave the 20 there because that would leave a 120 finish. Had to leave. And then drifts into the 7 once again. How many times are we going to say opportunity knocks for Jamie Hughes?
$100. Mark the car, 133.
Won't go.
93.
Nevertheless,
Car 108.
tidies it up. There's pressure on this 108.
Yeah, lots of it. Awkward right-hand side of the hockey. Can see enough of it. Great camera angle there, but no execution there from Jamie Hughes. Dudbridge itching
56.
to get to the hockey.
Mark the car, 40.
On throw to go one away.
Yeah, key moment. Double 10.
Getting shot on the fourth leg,
Double
Mark
10
Dudbridge.
goes. Mark Dudbridge. This is superb.
Fifth leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Deep in concentration. Not a great deal of reaction. He can scream and shout with the best of them when he needs to. But he's keeping his emotions in check. Very, very impressive, this.
45.
And straight away, he's handed an opportunity to pile on the misery for Hughes, but Dudbridge
78.
just about does enough. For the early opportunity is now reeled back in by Jamie Hughes. Is back in command in leg 5.
Yeah, as much as you take the plaudits for that 180, you're thinking in your mind, why can't I do it against the throat when
57.
I had those opportunities?
Absolutely stunning.
Rip snorter of a leg here for Jamie Hughes.
44.
But without being the bearer of too much bad news, it is just on his throw. It's just for a holder throw. It's not going to be the 11 darter. So he's persevering with that treble 20. You go down with a big 16.
56.
So looking good. And I guess for Mark Dudbridge, he's already maybe put this leg aside. His first 3 darts of the next leg are going to be huge.
97. Jim Lucar, 40. Game shot on the
Minimum
5th
of
leg,
fuss.
Jamie Hughes.
And considering Jamie started the leg with a 45,
6th leg mark to through first. Game
wins
on.
it in 14. Both players 1 in, 1 out on the outer ring, 50%.
96.
And a 96, you said it, Glenn. A crucial key moment would be Dudbridge's opening visit of this leg on his throw.
46.
I use the word experience there for Mark Dudbridge. He'll be saying to himself, just 15 darter. If you want to beat me, Jamie, then crack on. You need a 12 darter to do that. And 1 treble a visit equates to that 15
100.
darter. He starts with a 96 1 treble, backs it with a ton. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Hughes needs trebles. He needs them now.
100.
When he got one of them, it was a shade unfortunate not to get at least another, which Dudbridge has found all 3.
77.
Absolute quality once again.
$140. Mark Lucar,
Proper game of darts
128.
this, but Mark Dudbridge has been superb. 6 darts and 1 to 8. We mentioned that experience a few times in this game. He won't be rushed to check this one out. He knows he's got time in his side. Does he lay up? Sensible play.
96.
Very sensible. Managing the board exceptionally well. Big moments. He's timed them to
41.
perfection, Mark
Mark Lucar,
Dudbridge, in this
32.
match. And can round off a really impressive victory with double 8. It doesn't
16.
go.
Yeah, no dramas. Jamie Hughes expected that to go. He'd be frustrated with that previous score, not to get down to a finish. Treble 18 will be the dart for Jamie.
98. Mark Lucar, 16.
Back on the desired target. Can he join Coulson and Hughes on 4 points?
Has to shuffle across. Maybe
8.
over-adjusted. There's a
Jericho,
real
76.
grimace on the face of Mark Dudbridge. A whole host of match darts have come and gone. To send us all the way from nowhere.
56.
Can't find.
Mark Lucar, 8.
Is this the moment now for Mark Dudbridge?
There's
Game
your
shot on the
answer.
match, Mark Dudbridge.
It's certainly no flash in the pan for Mark Dudbridge tonight. He backs up his first victory against Jamie Hughes. He loses unbeaten tag today, but for me, rightly so, Mark Dudbridge. You have been brilliant tonight. He moves on to 4 points. He joins Coulson and Hughes. Maybe the average doesn't do it justice there because his scoring was big. Held his nerve at the end. Fantastic. Vintage darts, Dudbridge. We move on. Next game, it's Scott Robertson against Derek Coulson.
even though we were friends and everything. I mean, it was the best practice you can have.
And then I heard Eric say in the comms, he's got no chance of winning it, and I felt something switch in my mind. I thought, that's it now.
Some lads were bigger than you, weren't they? So you be aiming. Have you heard it? Hey, ball, and he's going second. And I thought, I got you now. Got him easy.
And I turned around and I thought, that's it. I said, I'm walking off. And that was it. I walked off. Russ was like, this with the mic.
Where you going?
Do you think Aidan will be world champion? I said, he's capable.
When did it kind of shift from teacher, student to rivals?
This needs no selling whatsoever. An audience with Phil Taylor and Adrian Lewis. It premieres on the Modus Super Series channel on Pluto TV tomorrow at 6 p.m. Do not miss it. So as we approach the midnight hour, it's almost Halloween. We see Scott Robertson and Derek Coulson renew their rivalry, which started on Monday morning in Group A. And Scott Robertson can feel a little hard done by when he's faced Derek, because his big performances on each day have really come against Robertson.
First leg, Scott's through first.
Robertson has the darts. But Jamie Hughes just faltered before the break, losing 4-2 to Mark Dudbridge. How will Coulson fare?
Yeah, you mentioned Halloween there. I do have a question to Modus Super Series, why they keep inviting me. They don't invite me as much as they used to, but I seem to get the Halloween weekend. What's going on?
66.
I'll be nervous that cauldron's not there tomorrow. That's another story.
$80.
Derek so far with averages of 103.66 and
93.
95.33.
Yeah, can you think of any Halloween names for dart players?
60.
Derek Coulson.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, this is very good as well.
140.
But Scott Robertson has also been very good himself in this opening leg. Could use a treble here, though.
100.
Yeah, they are fairly nervy moments for Scott right now. I'm saying we were chatting very positively about his Group A campaign, but a defeat here would mean 3 on the spin. And the way Dudbridge is playing, Jamie Hughes
60.
is playing, there is that gap
Sort of
now already.
81.
This is the ideal start. This for a 14 dart, a double 12.
57. Derek Carr, 142.
An outside opportunity for Coulson here. And with that, Robertson now refocuses
100.
to go 1-0 up himself. Yet again, double 12 is the target.
Getting shot
And
the
this
first
time,
leg, Scott Robertson.
double 12 is dispatched.
Yeah, sorry I've gone
Second
a little
leg,
bit
Derek
quiet
through
there.
First. Game on.
Ever since it turned midnight, I suddenly feel a little bit rough. Dear me, apologies.
60.
I'm really sorry about that. I'm not really sure what's going on here.
93.
Something in the water down south.
I think it's over to you. I'm struggling a bit.
140.
Oh, lovely 140 there from
180.
What a response that is. Just as we saw before
100.
the break, there are no foregone conclusions. Spooky things can happen around here. Not just on the
85.
stage.
$105. Scott the car 143.
We did mention that the Modus Super Series can create results you don't expect. That treble 17 would have left double 16.
87. W car 96.
Is that pretty? He's 1-0 up. Coulson being tested here. You feel this needs to go. Decision to make here on 76. He did go up with the double do. I think that was the right play.
40.
Execution not
Scott
there.
the car 56.
For the first time this evening, Coulson looking a shade vulnerable.
Game shot on the second leg, Scott Robertson.
And Scott Robertson has clicked into gear.
Third leg, Scott's are through first. Game on. $97. $45.
Just signs of frustration creeping in a little bit. We saw that a little bit as well on Monday.
135.
Scott Robertson will feel comfortable playing Derek. It's not a new experience.
This is a really tidy performance here from Scott. It's not the fact that it's a surprise. You know, Scott is averaging over a ton at the
100.
moment. Excellent on the doubles. He's been the better player, end of. And looking to get better. Should go. Can move.
177.
This is wonderful. And this is typical Modus Super Series. You write your own conclusion. And then you get a result like this. Now, this is on the back of Jamie Hughes losing to Mark Dudbridge.
98. Scott the car
The turn
92.
for Robertson to make his move. This for a 3-0 lead.
Well, this is turning into the performance of the night so far.
60.
Scott Robertson. Coming back for double 16 now.
140. Scott the car 32.
For a 3-0 lead over Derek Coulson. Double 4.
28. W car 118.
That creeping along the hockey as well on his double. I'm sure he's done it all his career. Never in this leg, Derek. And that's a missed opportunity.
94.
Robertson
Scott
down
the
to
car
that
4.
nervy double 2. You don't want to then go down to double 1, and that's awkward. He's got that fat barrel dart. Can he just see? And what a
Game shot on the
beautiful
third leg,
dart.
Scott
Wonderful
Robertson.
camera angle. He just used that first dart, just guided it over.
Fourth leg, Derek, you through first. Game on.
Well, if the huge defeat was a big shock, this is monstrous.
Just when Derek thought the door was ajar, Scott
60.
Robertson slammed it shut.
47.
Both players went out of big trouble on their opening visit. Derek changes that.
97.
This on his throw. Needs to get something going.
Yeah, a couple of 180s for Scott. What do you give for another one right now? If he can just see out this leg, he doesn't want it.
100.
Hanging around this has been the type of performance he was demonstrating on Monday. He was superb. Average 93 for the day, did Scott. A seasoned Scottish international. We almost wrote him off in this
100.
game because that's how good Derek Coulson's been. He's on this incredible unbeaten run at the moment. On the back of that 9-match unbeaten streak in Group A. A couple of wins already today for Derek
95.
Coulson. But he's got problems here.
$140.
Derek averaging a measly 91. What's going on? Hasn't had such a low average in days.
59. Daddy your car 104.
You can get on the board here, though.
Yeah,
56.
I mean, I don't know Derek as well as you. It doesn't look like the type of personality to be shaking his head and giving away that negativity. And yeah, he looks pretty frustrated here. It's not going his way.
60.
However, no treble coming back from Scott Robertson. Sure, he's got bigger fish to fry with his darts in the next leg. This to get on the board, double 16.
40. Scott the car 140.
Well, what a way this would be to wrap up a mighty win. Looking for the treble now.
45.
That was unfortunate
Daddy your
for
car
Scott
8.
Robertson. Coulson returns now. Can ill afford any more mistakes on the outer ring.
Game shown the fourth leg. Derek
Finds
Coulson.
it this time. It's 3-1. But Scott Robertson
Fifth
now
leg Scott to through first.
has the
Game on.
opportunity to serve this one out.
Thanks for all the concern on social media, everyone. I've got a glass of water.
58.
Yeah, it's that like fair.
60.
Again, a beautiful camera angle there where when that dart just goes underneath the treble 20, he doesn't need to go chasing down to the 19th because he throws a fairly flat dart, does Derek.
$100.
It was very spooky, though, the way that cuff just came and went.
The fact it was midnight as well. Is there something in the air?
$80.
Points on the floor there. For Coulson. Robertson looking to take full advantage.
99.
Just make the... It's almost like we're talking about this group where Dudbridge, Coulson and Hughes look like they were going to be running away with things. This puts a spanner in the works. It really does. If Scott can get over
95.
the line. It's his to lose from here. He's got the darts. 20 points ahead. Just the one treble. There it is. Now for your Brucey bonus. That's the way to do
140.
darts under high-pressured situations. Just keeping it simple.
$96.
Just
Scott the car 104.
keeps him alive in this match, Derek Coulson. But Scott Robertson, what a performance this has been. Can't wrap it up on this occasion.
47.
Coulson now
WK
needs a real
170.
showstopper to keep his hopes alive of maintaining that unbeaten record.
I was about to say, wouldn't it be typical of Derek Coulson? Hasn't been at his blistering best.
105. Scott the car 57.
For the first time in a long time, is the unbeaten streak of Derek Coulson over?
$37. Derek car 65.
Not just yet. But my word, that was close. Derek too accurate. We'll only have one. A double four to stay alive once more.
61.
And grazes
Scott the car 20.
the inside wire this time for Scott Robertson for a huge victory. And to kickstart his Group B campaign, goes inside, looks back up to double five, and he finds double five. Look at the emotion pour out of Scott Robertson. A huge victory at the fourth attempt over Derek Coulson. These pair renewing their rivalry from Group A into Group B. Great scenes there between the two players. They've had some ding-dong battles all week. And there goes by another. 4-1. Scott Robertson, Group B has just been blown wide open.
It's all about all those times you've practiced, all those thoughts and all those feelings have come to fruition. It's Jared Cole who wins week 12 of Series 10. He is the name that goes.
That one's in. A double 16 to become the tour champion in the most incredible of circumstances.
Tops then for the first leg of the match, and he takes it.
Oh, this would be exceptional. What a way this would be to win it, Reece Colley.
If he can pin the tops, yes he can. Aye, aye, aye.
Yeah, well, another thrilling week it looks like next week. Some fantastic memories there. That group is absolutely stacked. And on that back of that wonderful tour win for Graham Hall, he's the standout name. But Devon Peterson, who has incredible memories in that stage for that global championship win, I know how much it meant to him as well. And we look to that stacked Group B. Carl Sneed, who's had a terrific 2025, playing on the Players' Championships and the Pro Tour, very consistent. And what a beautiful memory for Jared Cole. Will he be the king of the castle next week? But another fantastic breakdown. It should be another cracker of a week.
Well, good luck finding a winner there. It's the same though every week at the moment. Whenever these lineups get announced, back to business in Group B, which is now wide open. And despite a whitewash defeat at the start of the evening, Mark Dudbridge has the chance to go top with a win here over Mike Gillett, who is yet to really fire. I think it's fair to say Gilly has not had things his own way so far.
Game on.
Yeah, we highlight that so far because of Mike Gillett. These, well, I would say on paper, these were the two games I'm sure he was identifying as potential 50-50 games. And then up steps Mark Dudbridge, who I think's been the player of the night so far. He had to withstand that
45
one-sided defeat in his opening game. But since then, I think he's been excellent, and it's great to see. I don't think, as we've mentioned, he's getting as much match practice as he's want to, but you never lose the class.
100.
And he's doing it with real aplomb tonight, he really is.
How about that from Gillett, who's shown glimpses, but glimpses is all it's been so far, looking to add consistency to his performances. Good early signs,
44.
though, from the Welshman.
Yeah, he's also persevered with that
85.
setup as well. When I first saw those three darts, going to look at the angle of entry was different. I thought he'd gone for a more standard size flight there. Just maybe it's his time to settle down and maybe just getting a leg or two under
60.
his belt. It could still be an okay night, because you mentioned this Group B has been blown wide open. Defeats for Jamie Hughes and Derek Coulson. And if Mike Gillett can finish off with a couple of wins and finish on 4 points, he then will be right in the mix.
Two more matches left to bring you following the conclusion
39.
of this one.
Mike Khan, 94.
Treble 18 this shot. Treble 20 he'll move to. And then the options are
54.
the 16. So nice and simple, nice and steady, nice and effective. Now just see out the job by hitting the double. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
$81. Mike Nucall,
Sounds
40.
easy. Will Mike Gillett make it look easy?
Getting shot on the
Pretty
first
much.
leg, Mike Gillett. Second leg, Mike, you through first. Game on.
Mark Dudbridge still in the practice area. That was his worst leg of the night. He needs to gather his thoughts. You can just see him in the back doing exactly that.
58.
And for Gillett, just a little bit of a bounce in his step as he approached the hockey there. Certainly far from out of this Group B qualification. Two rapid games here for Mike, because in between
100.
and sandwiched is Derek Coulson versus Jamie Hughes. I can't imagine that taking too long. So now it's all about this man in your picture. Can he find that beautiful rhythm? He's
60.
a top player, an international. Played on the biggest stage for him at Lakeside. Can he just find that form that Dudbridge has demonstrated throughout the night?
100. $41.
This is Mark's final match of the evening. With a win,
59.
would finish the evening joint top, because someone has to win out of Derek Coulson and Jamie Hughes next.
57.
Yeah, it just seems to be getting away a little bit for Mike Gillett here, because Dudbridge isn't pulling down any trees here. He's 9 darts thrown, still in the 200s.
45.
What Gillett could do with the max. Had one already.
$70.
Where consistency is key. Mike Gillett so far has been consistently inconsistent.
177.
And then Mark Dudbridge has a visit like that.
Yeah, Gillett looked up to the heavens there, almost like I had so many opportunities. Don't tell me Dudbridge is beginning to find those darts he's been producing tonight. Very scrappy here for Mike Gillett.
20.
Very, very unconvincing.
Getting shot on the second leg.
Very
Mark Dudbridge.
convincing from Dudbridge. He found something from somewhere, and he's level pegging.
Third leg, Mark, you through first. Game on. $60.
Yeah, I'm liking the love on social media. Yeah, apologies for that cough. Glass of water, a Newcastle Brown, and pack the fags in.
97.
Never had one in my life.
Mark
100.
Dudbridge now just beginning to move through the gears.
$96.
As we come to the conclusion of the day, it has been a fantastic day of darts. That Group C
131.
was pretty epic, I must admit. I can't wait. I still think there's lots of twists and turns to come tomorrow. And this Group B sort of went as I anticipated it would be. And then up popped Mark Dudbridge, who beat Jamie Hughes. And as you alluded to, a win here puts him top of the table.
50.
What you're saying is, after day one of two, we're still no closer to really figuring out who is going to join Jeffrey Deswan on Saturday.
And that's how it should be, really.
58. Mark Car
That's what you want. We want
160.
some exciting. I think that Group C will go right down to the wire. It's to lead for the first time in this match. No reaction whatsoever because he knows, oh, ouch. Anything but that.
Gilly trying to
41.
G
Mark
himself
Car
up.
79.
See him there just under his breath. Come on, but couldn't find. He's on a big finish should this not go.
Game shown the
but
third
it
leg.
goes.
Mark Dudbridge.
Mark Dudbridge is a man on a mission this evening.
Fourth leg, Mike, to through first. Game on.
And the mission is not impossible. He could well be topping the table overnight.
96.
Yeah, real worrying moments here for Mike Gillett.
And
the body language from Mark Dove, it's very positive, very focused. It's just in that zone which you love to be as a dart player.
98.
So with your coaching hat on, can you see anything in the Gillett throw there that's just maybe a miss?
Neither throw. It's pretty unique. Mark Dudbridge, you can often tell how comfortably he is with that follow through with the dart. And from the style of the dart, is just about rhythm. I mean, there's movement. You can see his
85.
head going forward for each one. But that's the way Mike Gillett's always threw a dart. You know, you get two types of players. You've got the rhythm players and you've got the aimers. The process players where they stand, they pull the arm back. Whereas
76.
Gillett, if he just gets the feel of it, they'll go in. You know, the Michael Smiths of this world. You can just see that arm, just the rhythm. There's no real motion to
96.
it. It's just pure feel.
$60. Michael Carr, 126.
No trouble in that visit for Dudbridge. Gillett is in control and looking good to bring us level once more.
81.
Didn't have to go for it, but did, just to sort of try and find something to get himself going.
Yeah, I liked it. That was the right decision to do. Execution.
100.
Not so good.
Michael Carr, 45.
But this for a level match. Big number hit.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Well,
Mike
again,
Gillett.
the great camera angle could see the way that understacking dart of that first one. I thought he'd almost covered the whole of the tops.
First. Game on.
He went right to the left-hand side of double top. It's been a funny old game, this one.
That almost looked impossible from Gillett.
174.
Dudbridge straight back into the business trebles.
80.
Did he think about it?
85.
When you see 327, the automatic 9 dart, it doesn't sort of resonate with you. But I just think that the reaction
44.
with that second dart, but wouldn't it be good to see? It has been a good night for Mark, but I still feel very similar to other players today. It's like you
45.
just want to get the job done in a sense that 4 points won't enough. He's put himself in an excellent position here. Goes into this match as favourite. It's been far from his best darts tonight.
81.
But he wants those 6 points.
And having the advantage of
93.
the throw in this match, he's on course to get that win. Get up to 6 points, which
60. Mark Carr, 104.
is a real solid night's work.
Yeah, absolutely. In his first game tomorrow, as he looks at tops,
64.
his first game tomorrow will be against Mike Gillett. He could be sat on 8 points, and smelling qualification.
43. Monaco
Oh, we
40.
saw last week 4 points was good enough for Paul Hogan to qualify from Group B.
Getting shown the fifth leg, Mark Dudbridge.
And Mark Dudbridge is a leg away from bettering that total.
Six leg Mike, you through first.
And moving on to 6 points after just the first night.
Yeah, when Mark Dudbridge won that first game, he was on the stage an awful lot with Paul Hinks. And of course, we've been talking about this
134.
wonderful CV of Mark Dudbridge. And I'm pretty sure a lot of those big finals and those big matches he's been involved in, Paul Hinks would have been the referee.
41.
Well, I'll give you some indications what I look at for in relation to the
55.
coaching. But if you look at his position at dart 1 and then watch his position at dart 3, like many dart players, it's almost like he's halfway down the hockey. Whereas Mark Dudbridge, every
60.
single dart is the same. So if you just watch the nose there of Mike Gillett, dart 1, he's just going just a little bit more. And watch where he finishes with this last one. It's
55.
almost like he's on the eye of the Super Series. That was smooth as silk. You can always tell when Matt on his field just a little bit edgy because the
100.
follow-through's not always true. That's just that little bit of tension in the arm there. Beautiful rhythm, beautiful pace of Mike Gillett there.
137.
It's been a real resolute performance from Gillett. It looked as though
85. Mike Ricard,
the
120.
game had potential to be just getting away from him. He's stuck to the task so well.
$80.
Well, like that. The second dart was a total blocker, wasn't it? Utilising tops to leave the same target.
I thought it was a cracking dart. I thought he would have gone conservative, just hit a fat 20 to leave a 2-darter.
59. Mike
Are
Ricard,
we
40.
going the distance? This for 3-3.
Getting shown the sixth leg,
We
Mike
are
Gillett.
going the distance. That was clinical from Gillett.
Seventh and final leg, Mark.
The smile has returned to his face. But that smile quickly dissipates to steely determination from both players.
41.
Yes, we talked about that earlier, didn't we? That was the most important 3-dart of this game when you're going down to a decider. And Gillett has to
85.
take advantage, and that last dart just gives him a small advantage. Dudbridge yet to hit a 180 in this match. But it's all about timing.
121.
It was almost perfect timing. Wrestled back the initiative.
28.
And has that forced Gillett into submission? If that didn't, this might.
135.
Six points looking good for Mark Dudbridge. What a night's work for him.
80.
He will be delighted. Ton ahead. Plus these, he's found the treble with these first 2 darts with real ease. Add that one to the mix.
80.
Oh, what a time to find your first maximum
86.
of the match.
Mark Ricard, 24.
To leave yourself double 12 to go top of the table. Double 6.
18.
Yeah, I would normally say no dramas with Mike Gillett way back on 2-2-2. But the fact he's left 6, he'll make a decision. He might make that decision dependent on the score of Gillett.
26.
I think he has
Mark
time
Ricard,
to split
6.
2-2-2 here. How's he feeling? There's your answer. To go top of the table, double 3.
3.
Well, this could get awkward. You've dropped a flight mark. Mike can see the funny side. Well, it could make things very interesting.
Martin Carr 3.
Now then, gets the single, takes a step to his right, and finds the double. That could have got awkward, but he's polished it off with aplomb. Gillett can appreciate the celebration, but Flash has flashed his way to the top. Mark Dudbridge moves on to 6 points. Jovial scenes on the stage, but another player is about to join Mark Dudbridge at the top of the table on 6 points. It'll either be Derek Coulson or Jamie Hughes. They face each other after the break, but here is the tail of the tape. It was scrappy, but Dudbridge comes out on top by 4 legs to 3. Coulson Hughes next.
Charlie McGuire, 164. 44. 32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
jockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone. I think he's gone to bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
The match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
And welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where it's the penultimate game of the night in this Group B campaign. And round about an hour ago, we were saying these 2 players were running away with proceedings here. And then up walks a vintage Mark Dudbridge, who has been the player of the night. Despite the fact losing his open game heavily, he's bounced back, and Mark Dudbridge has put himself in a terrific position for qualification. He leaves tonight with 6 points in the bag. and looking to see out the job. Things were looking so smoothly for these two, but defeats in their last game. And for Derek Coulson,
First leg, Derek, you through first.
a defeat after 11 wins on the spin this week. This was always going to be the heavyweight clash of the night. How do you see this one going, Sam?
Your guess is as
43.
good as mine. These two have matched each other all night so far. Identical points tallies, identical leg difference, identical patterns of play. You win, I win, you win, I win, you
93.
lose. Oh, I've lost. Something has to give. One of these two will join Mark Dudbridge at the top of the table overnight. The other
81.
will stay on 4 points.
Yeah, Scott Robertson sat pretty now. He had that big win, didn't he, over Derek Coulson. He's up against the disappointed Mike Gillett. He's going to have to gather his thoughts
43.
really quickly. He's the one that's really struggled tonight. But even a victory for Mike in that final game, you just never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
$140.
Much better visit there from Coulson. Jamie turning his attention now to 18.
78.
Finds the treble thereof.
I think he answered his question well, Jamie, at the beginning of the night, didn't he? He just said he's very inconsistent at the moment. He can go from a run of a semi-final and final to challenge to it to been pretty useless the next day, in his words. That's the type of night he's had. Sometimes he's looked mustard. Sometimes he's flattered to deceive. He really has. Coulson looks the stronger early on in this match.
Ready your car, 137.
We'll have 6 at this 137. Just recalculating.
83.
Bit of a loose last start. What can Jamie find?
Well, another treble. The answer's plenty.
100. Ready your car,
They're
54.
both on 2 darters, but it's advantage Coulson. I'll sit back before I say he'll hit the big number, because he's missed a couple of big numbers tonight.
Game
But
shot on
no
the
problems
first
at the
leg, Derek
double.
Coulson.
Coulson leaves this heavyweight clash 1-0.
Second leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Round 1, leg 1 to Derek Coulson. Seconds out, round 2. Jamie Hughes starting with a
140.
near perfect visit.
$85. $60.
That's the inconsistency you were talking about, Glenn, because after that first start of the visit, you were almost expecting the next two to find the treble for a 140.
140.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that Coulson is owning that stage. That incredible consistency record of being in Champions Week. I think he wants to go one step further now.
140.
Well, it's an unbelievable record. And I think come Saturday night, if he can get the qualification there, I honestly genuinely still feel he's the one to beat. Jeffrey Desvano might disagree with that. But that's what he can do. He really is top notch.
Hughes threatening.
78. Derek your car, 96.
Coulson advancing and looking to extend with double 18.
There's the marker.
78. Jamie Carr, 83.
Well, he's been second best so far as Jamie, despite still averaging over 92, Jamie. Could be the bullseye because he'll look at the 16 bed. It is the bullseye. This to get him going.
Game shot on the second leg.
Right
Jamie
in the
Hughes.
middle of the middle of the middle.
Third leg, Derek to throw
That
first.
was a thing
Game
of
on.
beauty from Jamie Hughes. That will sting for Derek Coulson. It is just a hold for Hughes.
100.
Well, that was an opportunity missed from Derek there. Missing 2 darts for a break of throw. Could that be a turning point?
Well, it was middle for Diddle, wasn't
96.
it? It really was. It couldn't get any more centre there. No reaction from either player. I mentioned this reaction because we had some incredible moments this afternoon with reactions. Barry Copeland
140.
was roaring and shouting, just like the olden days. More measured approach from these two. Very little to separate right now.
55.
Nothing separating
91.
these two in the table. Hardly anything separating them in this match as well, especially if Hughes finds another.
180. Derek
Well, I
Carr,
haven't been a
170.
medium since 1979, but one of these 170s is going to go. Stay with me, Sam.
60. Jamie
Here we
Carr,
go.
170.
This is the moment.
Yeah. Nevertheless, though,
119. Derek Carr, 110.
that's still a good visit from Hughes. Leaving a 2 dart out should this not go.
53 points left for double top. Jamie can't look.
70.
Super
Jamie Carr,
effort.
51.
It was those 2 treble 19s in his previous visit that got Jamie Hughes to this point.
Game shot on the third
And
leg.
he
Jamie Hughes.
succeeds. Where Derek faltered in the previous leg, he takes the opportunity to break throw.
Fourth leg, Jamie to throw first. Game on.
I thought it was inconceivable as Jamie looks at that stat there of 2 wins out of 2 that it was Derek Coulson who could leave only on 4 points tonight. But now that's the real possibility because that breaker throw there for Jamie
100
has given him the advantage. Started off nicer here. And for only the second time in a long time with Derek Coulson, difficult moments for him. Had a tough Monday, remember. But apart from that, pretty much every time he comes on that
83.
stage, he dominates.
$83.
Coulson needs a 2 treble visit. Would settle for 1 at this stage.
60.
But can't find, much to his disbelief, peering round the corner.
He looks totally in control, Jamie, with his throw.
44.
But a scores of 83 and 44. You cannot keep giving this man chances. You've got to grab him while he's down because you just expect him to get big scores.
98.
This is a big return here for Jamie Hughes. 2-7-4. Needs trebles. There's 1.
Well, stay down there to find another. What can Derek now find? Plenty.
180.
A sign of a champion.
41.
You asked, he delivered.
So the 141 of Hughes doesn't go.
65.
Coulson now returns for 80. Had an opportunity earlier in the match to break. This is now a necessity. And this time it goes. It's in, Derek. Go and collect.
Yeah, they hurt as well. Two darters, pop, and then he's looking to see if that double 10 is in there. Missed opportunity there for Jamie Hughes, but once again, Coulson showing his class. We're talking about the fact that is this a real tricky moment for him? And then up pops the average of 102.
And not for the first time tonight as well.
97.
I went all Paul Hinks there, didn't I?
$60.
There's the legend there, Paul Hinks. I just think he adds that little bit of magic to that stage. I really do.
Absolutely. How could anyone disagree? The man, the myth, the legend.
45.
Paul Hinks.
Titus Maximus.
$100.
Hughes could do with a couple. Well, that looks inviting. Has to be, surely.
180.
Beautifully called in, Sam. That's what he just needed. Coulson looking menacing. Very menacing. I like that play. I think the expectation now is going for the treble 19, the sensible play. Just leave the two darter. You've got an opponent who's not on a finish. But he is now. The most crucial part of this match
99
is right here, right now.
Derek Coulson will tell you himself he has a love-hate relationship with tops. He loves it this time. Huge moment in the match. Coulson is not found wanting.
Game on.
He's delivering.
Yeah, that love-hate takes me to Ryan Joyce, one of the best double 16, double 8 hitters in the world. Given double top, you think it's a totally different sport that he's playing. He detests it.
93.
Key passage of play, not just this evening, but looking ahead
100
to Halloween night's action, where this will be the second match on. Hughes will have the darts on that occasion.
180.
But he is piling in the maximums on this one.
Again, on his throat. He needs to be finding those maximums, and just as Derek's doing against the throw, that is outstanding. He's really shown some class here, Derek Coulson. 103 once again. He's just piling these 100 averages in. This is beautiful to watch.
3 maximums apiece
85
for these two. Putting on a tremendous display. A wicked deflection.
105.
Sensible board management once again there from Coulson.
To stay in the match, treble 17. 66 points left, so we'll be looking at treble 10. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. That still leaves the two darter that he was searching for. But Derek Coulson has really showed some class. This is what he's all about. Magnificent. Big scoring. Excellent under pressure. That's a huge win for Derek Coulson. It really is. It started so well tonight for Jamie Hughes. He's got work to do tomorrow. But Derek Coulson, before a dart was thrown in this group, he was the 11th to 10th favourite. And I think he's demonstrated all those qualities. Look at these numbers. Brilliant on the right-hand side for Jamie Hughes on the doubles. But 104.05 average. That is what Derek Coulson's all about. And we move on to our final game of the night. It's Mike Gillett against Robertson.
He will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have
Graham
one dart.
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Dart at tops for the match to win 4-1. And the Dart at double 16 gets the job done there for Jurgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2-6.
Did he go for tops or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Gablas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He is 2 darts away
Jeff requires 86.
from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone. And you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs one more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the one treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4th in a match.
Game. Shot. And the Modus Super Series 11 champion, Jeff Smith.
Welcome back to Pluto TV. The culmination of night 1 of Group B. Before the break, you missed an absolute cracker of a match between Derek Coulson and Jamie Hughes, the 2 favourites for this Group B. Well, it was Derek Coulson coming out on top by 4 legs to 2, averaging 104. Both players
First
with
leg, Mike,
3
you're through
maximums
first.
apiece, but a decisive 116 checkout from Coulson. The difference in that match. Back on stage, Mike Gillett faces Scott Robertson, and Gilly
85
is running the risk of ending up on 0 points on the opening night. Robertson, with a win, could keep himself bang in contention in the 3 qualification spots from this group. How would you assess
41.
Mike Gillet's night so far, Glenn?
A disaster, really, which is not words I like to use for someone
40
with the quality of a person that Mike Gillet's all about. I'm just not comfortable with that setup, which his argument will be that's what I throw with
44.
Glenn. I just think there's a quick fix there with a technical issue. I think his throw looks absolutely fine. It's just
60.
He's certainly not out of depth because he's good enough to beat every single player in this group, but he has pretty much been lamped to slaughter. I think he had an opportunity against Mark Dudbridge in his previous game.
58.
And I didn't think I'd be saying at this part of the night where Jamie Hughes could do with a Mike Gillett win here, because Scott Robertson is just quietly but effectively getting on with his job, and it could be Jamie Hughes who sat worrying overnight.
60.
Really difficult not to be impressed by the way Scott Robertson has gone about his business, not just tonight but all week.
58.
A really eye-catching debut here at the Modus Super Series for the ADC qualifier from Scotland.
138.
Yeah, he looks solid as a rock. You don't become a Scottish international if you can't throw a dart. He's not someone who's travelling the circuit, so it's sort of hard to work out what he's doing, but the obvious quality is that these are those types of finishes where you're getting one dart at a double, it's double 16. I guess that quirky style of moving for the double, but this time it works. Another superstar from the Super Scott.
Scott to throw first.
Gilly is still smiling.
Game on.
As you say, Glenn, things clearly haven't gone his way, and he's performed below par, I think it's fair to say. Tomorrow is a new
93.
day. Mike Gillett, no stranger to a Saturday, could easily work his way back into contention.
I think he could, but I think he needs the 2 points here. And I think it's still very much in his armoury, in his grasp. He can win this match. I think if he can go without getting a point in that first one, it's just super tough. And
57.
then for me, it then becomes a real fight between Robertson and Jamie Hughes. I think Dudbridge looks $1 million. Coulson, for me, is
58.
the winner of the week still. I'm not going to change my mind on that. I see the big battle between that man in your picture and Jamie Hughes, unless Mike Gillett can win this game. And then, as you alluded to, tomorrow's a new day. We might just see the real Mike Gillett.
There could be some really spooky goings on at the live
120
lounge on Friday night, Halloween night.
Every time you say that, I seem to cough. Oh, there you go. See, can you stop it now, please?
We're going to get people tweeting in again.
45.
Better hear from Mike.
60.
Well, that 60 score means it's 6 darts and 144. He has fluffed his lines a couple of times by drifting into the 1s and 5s when he's had the leg in the palm of his hands, really.
100.
That is much, much better. I guess if he can just get the 2 points, rally, come back tomorrow, play Scott first game tomorrow, we'll be thinking, what's the problem? Big moments here for Mike.
Robertson waiting to pounce.
Game shot on the second leg.
Does not get an opportunity to do so. That's better from Gillett.
Third leg, Mike to throw first. Game on.
What a cracking dart that was. Maybe it might be getting late, but I actually thought the first dart at double top was in.
100.
Listen, that's dart, isn't it? Just something as simple as that tops to get him going. He's rocking and rolling. The 180 goes in. Good moments now for the Welshman.
140.
Well, it's just after 1 a.m. Mike Gillett finally is getting himself going. They want to carry on playing.
134.
But joking aside, as we mentioned, if he can just get to the 2 points, these head-to-heads are really, really important.
100.
The problem for Mike is the back end of the tomorrow night could be tough, but if he's got an opportunity to qualify, we might see the real darts from him. Keep digging in,
80.
son.
A real positive character, isn't he, Mike Gillett? And will remain
60.
positive where
Car
others
107.
may start to feel a little bit sorry for themselves.
Yeah, I think the professional world of darts, you start thinking of the
47.
Steve Beatons, the John Hendersons, the Johnny Claytons. People don't have a bad word to say. Listen, put Mike Gillett in that category.
$91. Mike the car 60.
Good last. Gillett now looking at tops once more. Rejected by the board. Just recomposes.
Game shot
And
the
that's
third
a
leg.
really
Mike Gillett.
smart dart from Gillett. A 15 dart leg.
Fourth leg Scott to through
A
first.
holder
Game
throw.
on.
And he's dancing and jigging his way to what he hopes will be his first victory.
Yeah, it's almost like apologetic as he goes by. Stick your chest out.
59.
Get the chin up.
$140.
Do you remember that word I was talking about? That feel, that motion, that rhythm. All of a sudden, it's just beginning to click now. And that's what these rhythm players are all about. They can just switch it on. But again, Robertson, super impressive again. I don't think he deserves to finish the night on 2 points.
21.
Well, he said the exact same thing this afternoon in Group C.
$98.
Make sure you join us back here at 1 p.m. Friday afternoon. 2 players will join Jeffrey Deswan
41.
in finals night.
Don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to me sleep, but I am genuinely looking forward to that Group C tomorrow. I think there's going to be
100.
more fun in games. I really do.
$85. Scott the car 107.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how Alex Williams reacts after topping the group overnight. How will he fare as he bids to make a finals night? The likes
41.
of Danny Van Tripe, Tomoya Goto. Will Barry Copeland bring the fire?
41. Scott the car 66.
Robertson looking to bring us level once more.
Game
And
shot on the
does
fourth
so
leg. Scott Robertson.
with consummate ease. Makes it
Fifth
look
leg
so
Mike to through
simple.
first. Game on.
Scott Robertson really starting to make a name for himself on the Super Series stage.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments. I think we've seen a couple of players where they might not have had the
83.
results, as in Marcel Otter, Scott Robertson, but you want to see them again. I think they'll really benefit. And he's still in the mix here. If he can just find 2 quick legs here, he's against the
59.
throw, so he's going to have to break Mike Gillett in this match.
Therein lies the beauty of the ADC, I suppose.
83.
We'll be seeing Scott Robertson on TV without it.
Yes, it's the North East qualification, Modus qualification ADC this Sunday. And the excitement's real. I try to get that across when I come here. Like, you know, the ADCs are filling up so quickly in a lot of regions, a lot of areas, and you know, there'll be high expectations for a lot of players because they want to be on that stage.
Absolutely.
54.
So much money to be earned in the amateur game these days, leaving players with decisions to make.
57.
Needs a big one. Really could have done with a 180. Can't get down to a finish now.
100. Mayuka 138.
Gillet's to lose some here. 138. He'll stay there.
We'll turn his focus to
78.
the 18s and we'll return for what should be 2-leg darts.
$46. Mike Ricard,
Just 2
60.
missed darts at a double between the pair of them so far after 4 legs. There's the first.
Game show on the 5th leg.
The trend
Mike
continues. This is so much better from Mike Gillett.
6 leg Scott to through first.
Last thing he needs now is an injury. If he can just somehow irk out another leg, at least it gives him a foundation for tomorrow.
Yeah, foundation is a good word to use. Something to build on.
$81.
Robertson, though.
100.
Strong once again on his own throw.
$60.
Looks like we're going the distance because Robertson a ton ahead plus these. That first dart's a beauty.
121. $85. Scott the car 140.
The writing is on the wall. A last leg decider is in sight.
100.
Yeah, really good darts once again from Robertson. He's done a really professional job in this leg. Gillett's mind.
45.
There's potential on his next 3 darts, because he will have the darts in the last leg decider. This to go the distance.
Game shot on the 6th leg, Scott Robertson.
On we go then. Mike Gillett forced to
final
serve
leg,
this
Mike,
one
to
out.
throw first. Game on.
He has the honour. He has the darts. Mike Gillett so far without a win this evening.
96.
Solid enough start in this last leg shootout.
Yeah, beauty of a last dart. What's Robertson made of? There's the treble.
96.
Nothing to separate.
$96.
Once again, utilising a good cover shot there is Gillett. Robertson.
43.
Can't do the same this time. Advantage Gillett.
Yeah, it's not about the averages this match. This is good old-fashioned match play here. A player fighting for
99.
everything he's got in Mike Gillett. Again, Scott Robertson, who's at his plaudits, can put himself in a good position, ready for a real fight tomorrow. But all of a sudden, it's Gillett that has a huge advantage now. Sprinting to the hockey there. Just needs to manage that nerves. That's the perfect dart.
100.
He's waited all night for this moment. What a position, Sam.
$132. Mark the car 110.
Well, that makes things interesting. Things have just got
78.
very
Mark the
interesting.
car 170.
Yeah, what an excellent 1-3-2 that was for Robertson. I thought he was down and out in this match. An unbelievable day of darts.
So close to being wrapped
98.
up in
Mark the
spectacular
car
fashion.
32.
Well, this is the moment for Mike Gillett to avoid a horrible opening night,
Mike
and
Gillett.
avoid it he has. He gets the win. He's so desperately fought for all night. He's deserved that as Gillett. He's kept on smiling. He's kept on battling. And he gets the win over Scott Robertson to join him on 2 points. We'll be assessing what we've seen after this. Well, that is the end of night one of Group B. What a memorable day it's been here at the Live Lounge. The night belonging to Mark Dudbridge and Derek Coulson, who got the better of Jamie Hughes in that heavyweight clash in the penultimate match of the evening. And Mike Gillett, a 4-3 win over Scott Robertson there to avoid an unwanted whitewash card in Group B. Let's see how the table looks then overnight. And it is a two-way tussle. Derek Coulson has the supreme advantage on leg difference over Mark Dudbridge. Jamie Hughes there just a win behind them, and Scott Robertson joined on 2 points by Mike Gillett. Glenn, Derek tops the table then, and I suppose on the balance of it, he's had 2 ton plus averages, so you would say on balance that's pretty fair.
Yeah, he's an incredible player. He really is. He's come across as a fantastic person today, but he's let the darts do the talking. I mean, that 11 match run was incredible, big numbers. He's produced the goods tonight. He was asked questions, but he seems to have the answers. He looks very at ease under any situations. He's a great front runner. He's an excellent fighter when he needs to be, and under pressure, he's got everything. He really does impress.
I suppose in that clip there where we saw him defeat Mark Dudbridge by 4-0, that's the difference between the two table toppers, isn't it? Dudbridge started the night quietly, but went from strength to strength and displayed some really impressive form.
Yeah, a little bit of a smile's come on my face talking about Mark Dudbridge there, because after that first game I thought it was going to be a really long night for him, because you know, I know what it's like when you're not playing match darts, but boy, he's found something. I'd be interested to chat with him. Maybe we've done him a little bit of injustice in that he is playing regular darts, whether it's local league, whether it's Super League. That's not information I have. This double one, the reaction between him and Mikey was another beautiful moment. There's the reaction. He knows 6 points. It's put him in a wonderful position. And Mike, as you alluded to, always has that smile on his face.
With a reaction like that, you can tell he fancies it.
And why not? I mean, he scored big even when he lost that match to Derek Coulson. You know, we did sort of say there was enough in that. There was enough to say that he's actually in good form. And then he puts on 3 big wins there. I'm delighted for him. Well done, Mark.
How would you assess Jamie Hughes' evening?
Very similar to Tom Cromwell. I thought he'd done his work early doors, 2 wins out of 2. But that defeat to Mark Dudbridge. And I think Jamie answered his own question. The consistency is a problem. He really does look $1 million at times. And at times he flatters to deceive, and that's something, when you come to the Modus Super Series, consistency is key. He's still got work to do.
Looking in general, though, at the whole picture of the group, it's still relatively delicately poised. You see the 2 at the bottom of the table on 2 points. They're still in their pitching. They still have hope, and it's still, considering it's first 3 that qualify, it's still all to play for.
That delicately poised is it's a good angle in the sense that if Gillett hadn't won there, I'd probably gone down the route as it's going to be between Robertson and Hughes. But just with Mike Gillett getting those 2 points there, all 5 players in the mix, let's just sort of preempt Mike Gillett winning the opening game tomorrow night. I use the word, it's been a disastrous Group B campaign for him. I could be eating my words as early as 10:15 tomorrow.
We've been spoilt today. Let's do it all over again tomorrow. Thank you for your company, Glenn. Coming up next is more of Mark Dudbridge, a Tungsten Talk. Stay tuned, Dudbridge fans, and join us tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock, for the culmination of Group C, and of course, the culmination of Group B slightly later on. But you can be here, dartshop.tv, if you want to join us at the live lounge. But if you can't get to Portsmouth, we are live from 7:30 in the PM. Next week is pretty stacked as well. We do it all over again from Monday morning, 9:30 in the AM, of course, as always. And of course, don't forget, Group B continues tomorrow night from 10 o'clock. Will Derek Coulson be letting out a roar as he seeks to qualify for finals night on Saturday? Well, what a fun day that was. And it's Halloween tomorrow. Things could get very, very spooky indeed here at the Live Lounge. What's going on there? Don't miss it tomorrow. Make sure you join us. Good night.
The new Modus Super Series champion. Yes! What a finish! The silencer, Jeff Smith! And it is...
That shot